killing after consciously deciding to do so. Okay, now the law does not fix an exact time period for the formation of that intent to kill. It does say that the formation must be present. The formation of intent to kill must be present in the mind before the killing. Okay? That's what premeditated murder means. Let me give you a quick example. When we broke for lunch earlier, I didn't do this, but say that I decided I just wanted to get out of the courthouse and take a drive, and I head north on 79, and as I top the hill there by Dr. Bailey's office, I see the Piggly Wiggly sign. Now, I wasn't intending to stop at Piggly Wiggly, but after I see the sign, I think, pork chop day, or fried chicken day, or whatever it is at the devil. And I put my blinker on, and I get over in the turning lane, and I turn in there and park in a parking space and go in and get the dinner. Well, that's premeditation, okay? Now, I didn't have the intent to get a dinner when I first started heading that way, but after I saw the Piggly Wiggly, then I took some steps. I obviously had it premeditated in my mind that that's what I wanted to do. Put on my blinker, got in the turning lane, and did that act, got my dinner. Okay, does everybody understand a little bit about what I'm talking about? That's the first way to prove first-degree murder, is to prove that it was done with premeditation. And again, the judge at the end of this trial will go through a long list of further instructions and that type of thing. Mr. Ward, do you have a question? No. Look like you have a question. Okay. All right. All right. Does anybody have any questions about premeditation? And again, you know, you're going to get the actual law that governs your evaluation from the judge. Now, there's a second way to prove first-degree murder, and the defendant in this case is charged in the alternative, which means basically he's charged either or. The second way to prove first-degree murder is by what's called felony murder. Anybody ever heard of that? Felony murder? Mr. Brown, you ever heard of felony murder? No. Okay. Fair enough. It means basically killing during the course of committing a certain felony. Okay? Our legislature, the Florida legislature, has decided that there are certain crimes that are so inherently dangerous that if you're committing one of those crimes and it results in the death of a person, that you also ought to be held responsible for that death. Okay? Now, in this case, you could hear when the judge read the indictment, the two felonies that we're talking about in this case is arson and kidnapping. All right? But the easiest way to give you an example is, say, robbery. We're obviously not talking about robbery here, but let me just explain how felony murder works. Say I'm going to S&S Grocery, and I decide to rob the place. All right, so I take my gun in, I decide to rob the place, I'm not intending to kill anyone, don't want to kill anyone, say the clerk won't agree and it goes bad and I end up shooting somebody and killing them. Okay? That can also be first-degree murder because it was done during the course of a robbery. All right, now the allegations against the defendant in this case are that a murder happened during the course of a kidnapping and or during the course of an arson. All right, so that's the way we've got the defendant charged in this particular case. So please understand, first-degree murder, it can happen by premeditation, or it can happen during the course of certain felonies. In this case, it's alleged arson or kidnapping. All right, and then count 2 of the indictment is very simply a kidnapping charge, and there's 3 elements that the state has to prove for that. Number 1, the defendant forcibly, secretly, or by threat confined, abducted, or imprisoned the victim. Number 2, the defendant had no lawful authority to do so. And number 3, the defendant acted with intent to commit or facilitate the commission of a felony, and in this case, we charged first-degree murder. So that's what kidnapping is, and that's what count 2 is. All right, does anybody have any questions? I know I've kind of buzzed through those quick about the charges against the defendant. Now, this case, you're going to hear, it's fairly complex. There may be any number of witnesses called to testify before you. Okay? I'm going to go through a list of names now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through them quick, and there's a lot of them. All right? Then I'm going to ask you kind of by road if you know the people. And what I want to know here is not only if you know the people, I don't want to know really if you happen to drive by somebody on the road, you may throw your hand up. What I need to know is if you know these people, if you have Sunday dinner with them every Sunday, those type of things that are going to affect your ability to serve with them. And I serve in a jury where they're an actual witness. Okay? And obviously, I think most of you got the hang of the questions I'm going to ask you. I need to know if you can be fair and impartial, even though some of these people testify. All right? So let me go through the list very quickly. Sherry Bradley. Gabrielle, you don't got to admit it. Have y'all heard the term DNA before? Everybody kind of heard that term? Now, when you talk about DNA, what does that mean to you, Ms. Hatcher? What's that mean to your DNA?
The mutations So I put everybody on sticky notes because sometimes we had 20 shuffling out the door at the same time. So I don't want y'all to think that I think you're temporary, but that's why I have you all on the board. I want to go over some things. I want to start, and of course, I will probably be a little more long-winded, not because I'm female, it's just because as a defense, this is extraordinarily important that I get the chance to talk back and forth with you all and that we engage in open conversation. Again, as Judge said, my name is Kim Dogle. I'm very pleased to be representing Johnny Mack, Skeeto, Calhoun, and with me is Kevin Carlisle. The two of us, and behind me, just in case anybody's wondering who those people were, that's Melody Krause and Ernest Jordan. They're both in my office as well. So because of the importance and because of the serious nature of this, I know sometimes we get in here and we start talking and we make light of a few things, but this is extremely important because we are talking about a death moment and we're talking about someone's life. So I don't want anyone to think that we're trying to brush over anything if any of us make light of a certain point or not. There are some things from this morning I wanted to talk to a few people about. Mr. Commander, I'll start with Mr. Brown first. Mr. Rummel's already told us he's made arrangements around the appointments.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I haven't canceled it. The figure